Hello there, welcome to Solvebeta. And we are still in our summer coaching series. Now, the summer coaching series, um, we've been on it for the past 3 weeks, and we'll be looking at topics that would students are most likely going to have lessons on in the next class. So this is for basic 5 and 6, and this is fraction. The topic is fraction. Now, I must say something, please. The last video we looked at place value of decimal numbers. Please, I gave 5 questions, 4 to 5 questions for you to try out. Please, the second question, there's a mistake there. If you watched the video, there's a mistake. If you struggle with it, there was a mistake in the second question. It was wrong. I modeled some things up. I wrote the wrong question, but I've written the right. I've commented the right question in the comment section, so you can check the comment section for the right question. I've written what is the right question in the comment section. So please go there and see it if you haven't, or if you struggle with that question. Please, I'm very, very sorry. I modeled some things up. Now let's go to today's topic. Now the whole idea or the whole reason for this slide, so that you'll be able to know, identify fractions, know how to reduce fraction to the lowest term. I know which fraction is greater than which fraction. So that's what we're going to be doing today. It's very, very important at this level. We should be able to identify fractions and be able to reduce fraction to the lowest term and know which fraction is greater than the other. Now let's get right into it. So what is a fraction? A fraction is always in this form. A fraction is always in this form. You have a number divided by another number. P divided by Q. And I'm using P to represent any number you know. What? Give me a number you know. 5 over. Give me another number you know. 6. This is a fraction. Give me a number you know. 100 divided by another number you know. 70. This is a fraction. So a fraction is always in this form. A number divided by another number. And a fraction can also be a negative number divided by a positive number. It's also a fraction. Now, if you have a number divided by another number, this number here is known as the numerator. Numerator. The number above is known as the numerator, while the number below is known as the denominator. The number above is known as the numerator, while the number below is known as the denominator. Numerator and denominator, very, very important. Numerator and denominator. So anytime you have a number that is written in this way, a number divided by another number, it is known as a word fraction. And there are certain special types of fraction that involves a whole number and a number divided by another number. This is the whole number and this is the word fraction. So there are some special kinds of fraction that involves a whole number and a fraction. They are known as mixed fraction. Mixed word fraction. Why is it mixed? It's a combination of mixed because it's a combination of a whole number. The whole number is 1, whole number, and a fraction. So we call them mixed word fraction. So these are the various types of fraction you can encounter. Which will then move me to the types of fraction. What are the types or kinds of fraction? Let me use that. Kinds of fraction. Kinds, types, classification of fraction. Fraction. The first type of fraction you should know is the proper fraction. Say proper fraction. Proper fraction. Proper fraction. Now, what is proper fraction? Proper fraction is such that numerator is less than denominator. A proper fraction is such that the number above is less than the number below. 5 over 6 is a proper fraction. The number above 5 is less than the number below 6. The number above is less than the number below. The number above, this number above 5 is smaller than the number below 6. So think of a proper fraction. You can tell me 1 over 9. 1 is less than 9. So this is a proper fraction. 1 is less than what? 9 is a proper fraction. 1 is less than what? 9. So it's a proper fraction. The numerator is less than the denominator, or the number that is on this fraction is less than the number that is under the division symbol. So another example, 8 over 11, 2 over 3, and so on and so forth, and so on and so forth. So that's the proper word fraction. That's the proper word fraction. Then the second type is improper. Improper, the opposite of proper fraction. Improper, improper, improper fraction. And what makes it improper is that it is the opposite of this. Instead of having 5 over 6 as the proper fraction, I will have what? 6 over 5. The number above is greater than the number below. The number above is bigger than the number below. That's what makes it improper. The number above is bigger than the number below. Then you have 11 over 8, 3 over 2, 7 over 4, 100 over 75, etc. and so on and so forth. Look at all of these fractions. The number above is greater than the number below. Check. That's what makes them improper word fraction. That's what makes them improper word fraction. That's what makes them improper word fraction. Then the last, which I've talked about, is your mixed word fraction. But let me expand on it. Mixed fraction or mixed number. What makes it a mixed fraction is a combination of a fraction and a proper fraction. So it's a combination of a whole number and a proper word fraction. This is the whole number, and you have a proper fraction. Whole number, proper fraction. Whole number, proper fraction together. And this is how it is written. You write the whole number, let it be long enough, then you put the proper fraction beside it. A whole number and a proper word fraction. You will not have it as a whole number. You will not have it as a whole number and a proper fraction. No, you will not have it like this. No, you will not have it like this. Rather, you have this is an improper fraction, right? You won't have it like this. Rather, you have it like this: a whole number and a proper word fraction. Very, very important. So by now, you should be able to identify the 3 types of word fraction, or the 3 kinds of word fraction. Very, very word important. Very, very word important. Very, very word important. Now, let me give you a picture of what a fraction is. Let me give you a picture. This is what we are dealing with when we talk about fraction. If you have this. Now, the shaded part here is 1 out of what? 4. There are 4 parts here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this shaded part is 1 out of 4. That's a fraction of it. It's a fraction. It's a part. So a fraction is a part of a whole. A fraction is a part of a whole. If you have to define a fraction is a part of a whole. So let's say I have this now. So the shaded part will be 1, 2, 3. That's the part that is shaded. Over the whole part, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So is it 9? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's 3 over 8. So that is the fraction. 3 over what? 8. 3 over what? 8. So this is the picture of a what? Fraction. A fraction is a part of a whole. Very, very important. A fraction is a part of a whole. It's a part of a whole. If you have a loaf of bread and it is divided into 4, it's divided into 4. Let's say 4 equal parts. Your dad takes 2. Your mom takes 2. There's nothing left because I've been divided into 4 what? Equal what part. But if your dad takes 2, your mom takes 1, and you are giving 1. So you took what? 1 out of 4. Your dad took 2 out of 4. Your mom took 1 out of 4. If you add everything together, you get the whole what? Bread. Very, very, very important. So the next thing will be how to reduce fraction to its lowest term. You can be asked to reduce a fraction to its lowest term. What does that mean? Or what does that mean rather? I hope you've written. Don't forget, you are the actor here. You can pause, you can play, and you can rewind. And don't forget to book your. In fact, even if you understand everything that's been taught, it would be nice to have a class, a sit down with me. Let me know, let me evaluate what you know, and let me see how well I'm doing. So don't forget to book your one-on-one session with me. Now, if you have to reduce to the lowest term, 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 reduce to the lowest term. You have to reduce to the lowest term. If you have this, to reduce this fraction to the lowest term is to express in you should express this fraction such that nothing can be divided, nothing can divide both the numerator and the denominator. To reduce to the lowest form means that this fraction is in the simplest form and nothing else can divide the numerator and the denominator apart from nothing can divide it apart from the number itself. Nothing can divide it. So what do we do? You can do this. You can do this. Look for a number that can divide both numerator and that can also divide the denominator. Now, 10 can divide both numerator and denominator. Why do I know that 10 can divide it? Because of this 0 and 0. 0 and 0. That reminds me, I said I'm going to show you rule of divisibility. I think I will do that in the next class. I'm going to remember. I'll do that in the next class, in the next lesson. So what do? You see that since the last number is 0 and the last number is 0, 10 can divide it. So you see divided by 10, you divide it by 10. You can say divided by 10. You can do it this way, divided by 10, divided by 10. What are you going to have? 150 divided by 10 is 15. 750 divided by 10 is what? 75. So divided by 10. Now what can divide this? Can 2 divide both? No. Can 3 divide both? Yes, 3 can divide both. So you see divided by 3 and you divide by 3. So let's divide by 3. 15 divided by 3 is 5. 75 divided by 3. 7 divided by 3 is 2. Remainder 1. 15 divided by 3 is what? 5. So you have 5 over what? 25. So what can divide 5 that can also divide 25? Please take note that it must be the same number that will divide the numerator and the what? Denominator. Don't use different number. As long as you are reducing to the lowest term, the same number must divide the numerator and the denominator. So now, when we do that, 5 can divide this. 5 divided by 5, 25 divided by 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1. 25 divided by 5 is what? 5. So it means that 150 over 750 can also be, or is equivalent to 1 over 5. Is equivalent to 1 over what? 5. Is there anything that can divide 1 that can also divide 5? No. 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 Apart from 1 itself and 5 itself. The only thing that can divide 1 is 1. The only thing that can divide 5 is what? 5. There's nothing that can divide both 1 and that can divide what? 5. So it means that 150 over 750 in its lowest term is 1 over 5. And it also means that 150 over 750 is equivalent to 15 over 75. Is equivalent to 5 over 25. And it's equivalent to 1 over what? 5. These are what you call equivalent to what? Fraction. I'm going to teach that in another class, equivalent fraction. We will soon get to that. That will be for later. But today we just want to know how to identify fractions, how to reduce fraction to the lowest term, and know which fraction is greater than the other. So this is equivalent fraction, but this fraction in its lowest term is what? 1 over what? 5. In its lowest term, the simplest form. Some question will say in its simplest form. This is it in its lowest term or in its simplest word form. So now let's continue. Let's continue. Let's take another example. Let's take another example. 14 over 49. Want to reduce to its lowest term. 14 over 49. So you check for a number that can divide both 14 and can divide what? 49. What number can divide 14 and can divide what? 49. What number that can divide 14 and can divide what? 49. So 2 can divide 14, but 2 cannot divide 49. No. What can divide 14? 7 can divide 14. Can 7 divide 49? Yes. So we see divided by 7. Divided by what? 7. Divide both by 7. If you divide 14 by 7, you have what? 2. If you divide 49 by 7, you have what? 7. So is there anything that can divide 2 that can also divide 7? No. Nothing else. So it means that 14 over 49 in its simplest form or in its lowest term is what? 2 over what? 7. Did you get that? It is 2 over what? 7. It is 2 over what? 7. And you can also see that these two, they are equivalent word fraction. They are equivalent word fraction. Very, very, very important. So we have taken 2 examples, 1 and 2. Now let's go to a third one. 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 225 divided by 500. You want to reduce this to the lowest term. So check. Can 2 divide 2 to 5? No, 2 cannot divide 2 to 5. Yeah. But 2 can divide 500. Yeah. 2 cannot divide 2 to 5, but 2 can divide 500. So you're not going to use 2. It must divide both numerator and the denominator. Now, what should we try? Let's try 5. 5 can divide 2 to 5. Okay, I think I can be chipping it in. Any number that has the last number to be 5 can be divided by 5. If you see a whole number, the last digit is 5, that number can be divided by 5. Yes, that's the rule of divisibility. Any whole number that you see that has the last digit to be 5, the number can be divided by 5. Or any number that you see that has the last digit to be 0, 500 has the last digit to be 0, that number can be divided by 5. 2 to 5 has the last digit to be 5, that number can be divided by 5. So let's divide by 5. Long division. Long division. 2 to 5 divided by 5. First you have 4. 20. 5 times 4 is 20. So you have subtract 2, 5. Yes. So this divided by this is 5. So it means that it's 45. Also, apart from rule of divisibility, I think I'm going to teach this as bonus, long division. I will try my best to include this as a bonus. I will try my best because both are not actually what I want to teach, but I will try my best. I'm not promising this, but I will try my best. So you have 45. It's 40 what? 5. So divided by 5. 45. 500 divided by 5 is 100. 500 divided by 5 is 100. Is 100. Is 100. Now 45 divided by 5. 5 can divide 45 and can also divide 100. How do I know? The last digit of this whole number is 5 and the last digit of this whole number is 0. Just like this, it can be divided by 5. So let's divide by 5. 45 divided by 5 is what? 9. 100 divided by 5 is what? 20. So is there anything else that can divide? 2 can divide 20, 2 cannot divide 9. 3 can divide 9, 3 cannot divide 20. The only thing else that can divide 9 is 9, and 9 cannot divide 20. So it means that 225 over 500 in the simplest form is 9 over what? 20. Both are equivalent fractions. In fact, these three, they are equivalent fractions. I'm still going to explain what equivalent fractions are. So that is it. That is it. You can quickly do this. The first assessment, first thing to do. First assessment, that's your first thing to do. Reduce to the lowest term. Now, it's possible for you to be asked to reduce a number to its lowest term, and that number cannot be divided by any other number. Let's take this example: 5/11. You have to reduce this to the lowest term. There's nothing that can divide 5 that can divide 11. So this is a trick question. So if you ask to reduce a number to its lowest term and you see that that number cannot be reduced to the lowest term, you just see that the answer is the number itself, is the fraction itself. It's already in its lowest term. It's already in its lowest word term. You just write it that is in its lowest word term. Are you following me? So it's possible, very, very possible. So try this. Very simple. Very, very simple. Very, very simple. Very, 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 very simple. Then so you have to do this. You have to try this. This is your first assessment. You can write it down. You can write it down. You can write it down. And do them. So I've already written that down. Let's go to the next thing for today. The next thing for today will be to be able to tell which fraction is greater than the other. To tell which fraction is greater than the other. Now, if you have these two fractions, which one is the greatest? Which one is greater than which? How do you know which one is greater? Now, you can use your visual method to know which one is greater. Let's say you can use this visual method. You have a loaf of bread. The same loaf of bread is here. The same, they are the same. You divide this into 3 and you divide this into 2. You are giving 1 out of 2 here and you are giving 1 out of 3 here. Or let me put it this way. This is the best way. You and your brother or sister. Let's say your brother or sister. Your brother or sister. Okay, let's say you and your brother. It's the same loaf of bread. Your daddy bought 2. He takes the first one, he divides it into 2. He gives you 1 out of 2. 1 out of the 2 of them he gives you. Then he takes the second one, he divides it into 3. He gives your brother 1 out of 3. Which one will be the biggest? This will be the biggest. Look at it, will be the biggest. Because the same loaf of bread, he divided into 2. He gave you 1 out of the 2. But the one he gave to your brother, that same loaf of bread, the second one, he divided into 3 and he gave your brother 1. So there are still remaining 2 parts. But there's remaining 1 part. The one he gave you, there's remaining 1 part of it. But the one he gave your brother, there's remaining 2 parts of it. So the one he gave you is bigger than the one he gave your brother. You can visualize it that way. Okay, so if you want to know which fraction is greater, let's stick with the visual method. There's a visual method to know. So look at this. You have this. You have the same loaf of bread, this and this. Now, this is 1 out of 3. Let's say you have 3. 1, 2, 3. 1 out of 3. Why this is 1 out of 2? Look at it visually. Which one is the greatest? This is bigger than this visually. 1 out of 2 is greater than this one. So it means that 1 out of 3 is less than 1 out of 2. you can visualize it that way to know which one is the greatest. That's if you are trying to compare two fractions. Now let's look at this one. You have 1 and you also have the same 1 loaf of bread. Now this is 1 out of 4. So let's divide it into 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 out of 4. Are you seeing it? Now this is 1 out of 7. Let's divide it into 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is 1 out of 4, this is 1 out of 7. So 1 out of 7 will be this part. So which one is the biggest? 1 out of 4 is bigger than 1 out of 7. 1 out of 4 is bigger than 1 out of what? 7. So this is the greatest. 1 over 4 is greater than 1 over what? 7. This is the easiest way to know which fraction is the greatest, by visualizing it or by making a picture of it. 2 out of 3. Let's say you have this. You have this. Now 2 out of 3 is meaning that you divide this into 3 and you take 2. Let's divide it into 3. 1, 2, 3. I divide it into 3 and I take 2. I take these 2 parts. Are you seeing it? Now this 3 out of 3, I divide it into 10 and I take 3 parts. So let's divide it into 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now look at it. If I take 3 out of it, it's not greater than this. No. Taking 3 out of 10 is not bigger than taking 2 out of 3. So that's the easiest way for you to. So this is greater than this. That's the easiest way for you to know which fraction is the greatest. Now the other ways to know which fraction is the greatest, which I will explain later, but that will be after we have learned a lot about fraction. We've learned how to convert them to decimal, and we've learned how to find the LCM of denominators of fraction. So with those knowledge, we can know which of fractions are greater. In fact, we can compare 3 fractions and we can compare 4 fractions together. But the easiest way to know which fraction is the greater, I just want to use this so that you can pictorially assess it. You can see it in pictures so that you can know which fraction is the greater when you have 2 fractions in pictures. Other ways will come later. So using that picture form, or using this picture method, I would like you to tell me which of these fractions are greater. I'm going to write them now. So you can use pictures and tell me which of these fractions are greater. So tell me which of these fractions is the greatest. Thank you for this. Thank you for joining me in this lesson. I see you in the next one. Bye.